Well, I'm delighted to say I'm joined in the studio now by the Egyptian ambassador to the UK, Ashraf El Kholy. Ambassador, thank you and welcome to you.
John.
We heard Lise Doucette there describing how the protesters are calling it a massacre. You're hearing the military saying it was, at some degree, self-defence. There seem to be irreconcilable differences in your country.
I think we'll overcome it. I think there is a lot of wise people in Egypt, wise leaders in the Muslim Brotherhood and Hurriya and Adala party, and I think they will stand next to the resolving of the situation peacefully. We are sad for the loss of life, and I hope it will not be repeated again.
Was the coup d'etat justified?
No, it's not a coup d'etat.
What is a coup d'etat?
No, this is not a coup d'etat.
But well, then what is?
The coup d'etat, if the army goes without the willing of the people out in the street and he sees power and he controls the country for 10 years or a few years.
If I interviewed you 6 months ago, 6 weeks ago, in this studio, you'd have sat down and said to me, we had free and fair elections in our country that brought the Muslim Brotherhood to power and that Mohamed Mursi is the legitimate leader.
Sure. 10 days ago I will say that, but now I have to say that the army stand next to the majority of the Egyptians. There are 30 millions out in the street and the army have to stand with the people and not with the person.
So it was justified to move against the government?
I think it is justified for the people that their army stand next to them, requesting the army to pressure the president to fulfill the needs of the people.
Why is Mohamed Mursi in detention?
For his safety.
What? So who's deciding he should be in detention?
I don't know. It's the military, of course.
But if that seems to me, you know, we're
it's
putting.
It's not in detention. It is. He's in he's in safe place.
He's in a safe place, but he would like to be out there. He'd like to be addressing the crowds. He's done nothing wrong. He is the elected leader.
In such situation, addressing the crowd, it will escalate things. We don't want it that way. So it's much better for him and for the public and for the people in Egypt, this situation to be more handled in a careful way.
Okay. Let's spin forward, because we're not going to agree over the definition of what has happened in your country over the past 10 days.
Sure, with your democratic values, you can define it and you can support it, but you have to feel that this is the will of the Egyptian people.
Okay, so the army are responding in response to the Egyptian people. Let us say that there is a compromise and that people, there are elections held. Can Mohamed Morsi stand for president again?
Sure, why not?
But then you might get the same thing happening again.
Already this is the request of the people to make an early election. Early election, that means he can submit his name again, to be elected again or not. And this will be a proof if he's willing to stay and people want him to stay or not.
But isn't anyone in the Muslim Brotherhood going to reach the conclusion there's no point in running for election, because what happens is you're in power for a year and you're deposed?
I think the Muslim Brotherhood have to admit that they have to run the election again, they have to run parliamentary election again, and will be part of the political life active the same way they have been active. And this will confirm how solid is their policy and their selection of the representative as a president and as MPs.
So what you seem to be saying, and I'm just trying to kind of just unpick some of the diplomatic language that you're using, you're saying the Muslim Brotherhood can run, but probably better not to have Mohamed Mursi as your candidate.
Yes, you got the point.
Right, okay, that's pretty clear. If you are an Islamist and you have seen what has happened, that you have campaigned for years, you have sought a foothold in the political life of your nation, you have run for election, you have won an election which, broadly speaking, people thought was free and fair, and then you're overthrown, isn't the natural conclusion that the way that we're only ever going to have power is by the gun, rather than by the ballot box?
If there is a wise leaders for the Muslim Brotherhood, they will recognize maybe ex-President Mohamed Mursi doesn't deliver well, and maybe they have to revise their choice, who have to represent the Muslim Brotherhood and Hurriya and Adala in the election. Of course, there will be furious, but I think as an Egyptians, all of them, nobody will think of violence. It's not our habits.
You are the ambassador. Your duty is to sell your country to the United Kingdom. Would you advise any British person to go to Egypt at the moment?
It's summer, it's hot now. I think by December I will advise him to go there.
Right, but stay away for the moment.
No, stay away from the trouble areas in Tahrir Square or on Rab'a al-Adawiyya. But if he's going to the Red Sea Riviera, he's welcome anytime.
What is the state of the Egyptian economy now?
It is not in a good situation at all. I think we need the support and the help of the international community, the World Bank, and I think part of our problems, it is economical problem, plus it affects the social problem too.
And do you need to rewrite the constitution to take out the changes that were made by Mohamed Mursi?
We don't say we rewrite it, it will be amended. Amended because he already, the President Morsi, he recognized this and it's part of his plan to be amended, and I think it's important to be amended.
Ambassador, you obviously report back into the Foreign Ministry in Cairo. How chaotic have the last 10 days been as you've been trying to work out what is happening, who I am loyal to, who are the good guys, who are the bad guys?
No, look, we are a diplomat, we are a professional diplomat, and whatever good for our country we represent and we talk about it, and we still are looking for the interests of the country and not the interest of a person. I am sure that, like I told you in the beginning, that all parties in Egypt, including Hurriya and Adala and Muslim Brotherhood, will recognize that, and few days later or maybe a few weeks later, everybody will sit on the same table and they will be talking and looking for the future.
So if you were to make a prediction, when will we see fresh elections?
Fresh election expected in 9 months' time.
You think that's realistic?
Yes, there is a roadmap already. There is a constitution declaration, and there is a roadmap, the period for every step, how long it will take. And I think within 9 months we'll have new elections for the president.
Okay, Ambassador, thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you very much, John. It's a pleasure to talk to you.
Well, it's been a great pleasure to talk to you. Maybe you'll come in soon and update us how the progress is being made there towards those elections.
And I hope next time I will come, it will be a much better situation and more better news than.
Ambassador, grateful to you. Thank you very much indeed for being with us. Do stay there for a moment. Thank you very much indeed.